So today, we're diving into this absolutely epic tale of adventure, high stakes, and discovery out on the American frontier. But this isn't some made-up story. It's the real life of a pioneer doctor in the Great North. And the best part? We get to hear it all in his own words, thanks to this incredible collection of over 550 family letters that were saved. Let's jump right in.
Okay, just picture this for a second. You're lost in a full-blown Alaskan blizzard, you're miles and miles from any kind of shelter, and all you have is a single robe to keep from freezing in the snow. This one little entry from Dr. Arthur Sutherland's letters, man, it just captures the raw, unfiltered reality of life on the frontier. This was a world of nonstop peril and just unbelievable toughness. Yeah, this was his normal.
So the man at the center of all this is Dr. Arthur Sutherland, or Doc, as everyone called him. What's so amazing is that we get to see his life unfold through his own eyes. Because of this incredible archive of letters, we can follow his adventures, his struggles, and his wins, all just as he was writing them down.
All right, so let's set the scene. It's 1904. We're in Dawson City. The famous Klondike gold rush is kind of fizzling out. All the easy money is gone. And for a guy like Doc Sutherland, that quiet, well, that's a signal that it's time for the next big thing. There's a new call to adventure coming from deep inside Alaska.
Writing home to his family, Doc pretty much lays it all out. Dawson's done. But he's not packing it in. He's pushing forward to the next frontier. He's hearing these rumors about a new gold strike in a place called Fairbanks, and that's just too tempting to pass up. For someone like him, a dead town was just the launching point for the next great adventure.
So, leaving Dawson? That turned out to be the easy part. But actually getting to the new boomtown of Fairbanks? Well, that was a completely different story. It meant a long, dangerous, and totally unpredictable journey right into the heart of the Alaskan wilderness.
The sheer scale of this trip was just immense. This wasn't a weekend getaway. It was a months-long odyssey that took him down the Yukon River, out to Seattle, then all the way across the continent to Ontario to see his family, and then all the way back north again. But even after all of that, the most dangerous part of the journey hadn't even started.
And this right here, this just perfectly sums up the brutal reality of traveling up north back then. After months on the move, their steamship gets completely frozen into the river just 45 miles away from their destination. There's no rescue party coming, no easy fix. The only option was to get out and walk. This was the tough, exhausting, real work of a pioneer. And when he finally got there, the work was just getting started. He immediately began building a cabin completely from scratch, chopping down trees, hauling logs. But just look at his attitude. He's not complaining, not at all. Instead, he sees all this backbreaking work as something that's actually healing him, making him stronger. That resilience, right there, that's what defined him.
That same grit he showed building his own home, well, it was about to be tested in a much, much bigger way. Because once he was settled, Doc Sutherland wasn't just another guy looking for gold. He was a doctor, and his skills were desperately needed in a wild land that had very few rules and even fewer physicians. 914. Just let that number sink in. That's how many babies Doc Sutherland delivered over his 53-year career in one of the toughest places on the planet. That number, it represents whole generations of Alaskan families that he personally helped bring into this world.
A lot of his work involved missions that sound like they're straight out of an adventure novel. Here's a perfect example. A guy needs an emergency appendectomy, and he's 170 miles away. Doc doesn't even hesitate. He rides right into a blizzard, gets lost, literally sleeps in the snow, finds his patient, and then has to make this incredibly tough call to haul him back through icy rapids instead of risking surgery in a tiny cabin. It's these little details in his letters that just make the hardship feel so real. He's in the middle of this life-or-death rescue, and his shoe just falls apart. So what does he do? He borrows a pair of giant boots and stuffs them with old sacks. This wasn't just some small problem. It was this constant, grinding fight against the world around him. And that sense of duty, it never faded. Decades later, when he was the territorial health officer, he embraced brand new technology to save lives. He actually teamed up with the legendary bush pilot Noel Wien to fly into these super remote areas to fight a smallpox epidemic. He had that same grit and willingness to face danger that he'd had from day one.
But, being a hero doctor wasn't the only thing on his mind. Like almost everybody else who went north, Doc Sutherland was bitten by the gold bug hard. He spent years chasing that dream of striking it rich, pouring his time, his money, everything into this high-stakes gamble in the Kantishna Mining District.
You can just feel the excitement practically leaping off the page in this letter from 1912. He gets an assay report back with these mind-blowing results, rock that's 4 times richer than anything he'd ever found. This was it. This was the moment every single prospector dreams of, when a massive fortune feels like it's not just possible, but right there for the taking.
But the reality of gold mining is often a pretty harsh one. His biggest project, the Kantishna Hydraulic Mining Company, the one he poured years of his life and hopes into, it was a failure, a total bust. Despite all the promising signs, the huge investment, all that hard work, the gold just wasn't there. The dream just vanished.
So, if he never struck it rich, what was Doc Sutherland's real legacy? Well, the final chapters of his letters show us that his true wealth was never buried in the ground. It was built piece by piece over a lifetime of service to his community.
Think about it. The dream of gold was all about instant, elusive wealth. But Doc's true legacy, that was a life of service. He became a respected elder in the community. He touched thousands of lives over 53 years of dedicated practice. He might have failed as a gold miner, but he absolutely succeeded as a human being.
And his contributions were just immense. He was on staff at the local hospital for over 4 decades. He was the doctor for the Alaska Railroad. He helped start the Pioneers of Alaska organization. And he built this long, happy life with his wife Nora, celebrating their 50th wedding anniversary right there in Fairbanks. He was a pillar of the community he helped create.
And in the end, Doc Sutherland's own words really give us the perfect summary of his life. He knew there were trials and woes, for sure, but his greatest pleasure, his greatest fortune, came from helping other people. And his letters, they leave us with a really powerful question. What's the real way to measure a rich life? For Doc Sutherland, the answer was never about the gold.